Today we're going to talk about pain assessment because it's actually really complicated. Most owners really do feel that, of course I'd know, but actually it's not that easy. It can be really hard. So what we're going to do is just run through some ways that you can start assessing whether your dog is in pain. Now we like using something called the CAM factor, which is the crisscross. Behaviour change, posture change, physical changes, capability and gait changes. And that's one way of dividing what your dog is telling you into sections and analysing that information and seeing whether that hints at pain. So let's start with behaviour change. Say Luna, who is a great companion, she comes with me everywhere. If she started spending more time on her own, if she was trying to avoid coming with me to situations, or she didn't like being handled, she avoided me touching her, didn't come and greet me, didn't want to sleep on my bed, all these sort of things that are so Luna weren't happening, I should actually start saying, well, there's something underlying this. Let's talk about postural changes. So as you can see, come on, Lulu. Luna has, good girl, don't lick your lips, you're fine. She's a very nervous soul. She's got quite a lovely flat back. She's pretending to be scared with her tail tucked in. She's not a very good film bod, are you? But she's got a nice flat back. But if we found that she was walking with quite an arch, which we would cause like a kyphotic back. So if she was arching her lower back, if she was extending her neck and not having free movement, if she was weight shifting forward and being front end heavy, so you could see all the weight was forward, if her posture was changing, then that's another warning sign. And a classic one is knee arthritis, when they choose to sit but they won't bend at their knees, so they'll leave one leg or both legs extended. So those sorts of things can be signs. Now let's talk about physical changes. If you don't use it, you will eventually lose it. So you will have muscle mass loss. And that's a classic situation, as demonstrated, where you'll see a dog become more muscular here, less muscular there, okay? So they start thinning on the back end and building up musculature on the front end. Start feeling that they develop quite a big saddlebag of musculature around the lumbar spine. You might see that you see coat changes, classic one being a Labrador that develops a big mane at the front. So they're nice and sleek as a younger dog, but as they get older they develop a bit of a mane. So you see coat changes. You might see changes with their claws, some of them being scuffed, some of them overgrowing. You might see, what other things can we think of? Oh, nibble marks, licking marks, where they might lick their elbow or their wrist and you see saliva staining. There's lots and lots of things that we can pick up on that suggest things are changing underneath. And then finally, let's talk about capability and gait changes. So if things are changing, so if something is sore and you don't want to use it, you're going to weight shift away from it and be a little bit hesitant about using it in the future. So that will be seen in a changed gait. And if you've got less capability and fear of using a certain part of your body, your capability will change. So your ability to jump up onto the sofa, climb the steps, get in and out of the car will change. Your ability to walk long distance, your endurance will change. So if you start seeing capability and gait changes, then that's another possible sign that we've got underlying pain. So that's called the CAM factor, dividing it into that 4. Now there are many other things, such as the clinical metrology instruments. And these are questionnaire-based tools that ask you a series of questions and make you start looking at your dog and whether they have changed, their lifestyle has changed, and whether that indicates there's an underlying problem. Now these tools are very good at giving you a figure, a baseline to work from as well when introducing it into your case. So for example, using a clinical metrology instrument such as the Canine Brief Pain Index or the Liverpool Osteoarthritis in Dog Study, you can use that to not only help you identify if your dog is in pain and how painful they are, but you can also use it when you're trying to work out whether your intervention is working and their pain state is reducing. So that's another really helpful tool. So those two things combined, so observation is the front runner, and then using these validated questionnaires to help you really cement it down, quantify it potentially, and then also monitor